The Raikage's office had a slight air of tension in it as the four Jinchuriki and Jiraiya waited for the Raikage to speak. To be honest, even he wasn't sure how to start this conversation. Well, I guess I'll first tell you that I'm glad all of you are here. I hope there are no hard feelings between Naruto and I. Naruto couldn't help himself from giving a sarcastic answer, even if he was the Raikage. Oh, you mean the trying to kidnap my mom and girlfriend years ago? No, we're golden. Raikage mumbled, you weren't even born when we tried to take your mother, you little. Naruto could see he'd aggravated him a little. I'm just messing around, we're cool, Raikage-san. The Raikage was glad to hear it. All right then. Has B gone over where you'll be going to train? Fu nodded. Yeah, he said something about an island and a turtle. The Raikage laughed. Turtle Island, yes. It's not really an island, you see. It's a giant turtle that the cloud has taken care of for hundreds of years. Eventually, it got to the point where it could sustain life. You wouldn't believe how amazing it really is. After he finished, Gaara asked, will just B-sensei be training with us or will there be others? I've been told that the hidden cloud has two-tailed beasts. The Raikage shook his head, it's just gonna be B. Yujito's not in the village at the moment. To be honest, she's not nearly as far along as B is with her tailed beast training. Jiraiya looked over at the three of them. Alright guys, I hate to see you go, but you've got to get going and I've got to talk with the Raikage for a little bit. I promise to visit you guys as soon as I can. Have fun. The three Jinchuriki said goodbye and B lead them out of the office so that they could prepare to go to the island. The Raikage then asked Jiraiya, so when will you be sending someone to help with our medical field? Jiraiya thought about it for a second. In about a month, when it's time for the kids' first checkup, my wife's gonna come here to help you guys out. I don't think I need to mention the pitfalls that'll come if you try and keep them. The Raikage wasn't that foolish. I know, it would be far more risk than it would ever be worth. Is there anything else? Jiraiya pulled out a picture of Kakashi and handed it to him. Yeah, keep an eye for this kid if it wouldn't be too much trouble. It's a long story so I'm not going to go into all of it, but he's sort of missing at the moment. The Raikage looked over the picture and put it in his desk. He shook Jiraiya's hand and the two parted ways. As much as Jiraiya would have liked to stay to keep an eye on the kids, he knew that he had other things that needed to be done back at the village. The council couldn't believe what Obito was asking them. You want to what? Obito sighed and explained again. Let Hiruzen take over as Hokage until I can locate Kakashi. I can't give my full attention to finding him if I'm handling my duties as Hokage, and for my wife's sake and my own I do need to find him. If you'll just let Hiruzen speak for a moment. Hiruzen stepped forward. I would be more than happy to take back my position until this matter is resolved. There's no one who knows better than I do about how this job can cost you your family. He gave a quick glance to Asuma when he said that part. His son may have forgiven him years ago, but he still hadn't forgiven himself. As one of the last heirs of the Uchiha clan, it's vitally important that we find Kakashi. I fully support Obito in this plan. The council was trying to think of some flaw in this plan, but Obito is our strongest ninja and we need him here. Besides, you're too old to take over as Hokage again. Let's just leave this to the ANBU to find him. Obito could see they didn't quite understand. I don't really care if you say yes or not, I'm going to go and look for my son. There's no one in this village capable of stopping me. I've given you all plenty of things to fall back on while I am gone. The council went to argue again, but Obito wouldn't let them. This isn't up for debate. Marking me as a missing nin would be the dumbest thing you could possibly do, so I know you aren't going to. I'm going home to prepare to start looking for Kakashi. I'll see all of you as soon as I can. Obito walked out of the room and began to think of what could lead them to Kakashi. He wasn't thinking for long though, as he soon heard, Uncle Obito, is it true you're going after Kakashi? Obito turned to see Sasuke had run up to him. Yes, I take it you heard it from your brother? Sasuke nodded. Yeah, he said that you're gonna take him with you and that you'll be training him in how to use the next level of his Sharingan. I wanna come with you guys. Obito wasn't so sure about that. I'm only taking Itachi with me because he needs to learn more about his Mangekyo Sharingan, but he has to use it as little as possible to make sure that he doesn't go blind. We were going to transfer my old eyes to him, but unfortunately it appears they'd already dissolved. I'm the only one who can teach him how to use it without actually having to hand him activate it. Are you really sure that you want to come with us? It's not going to be a leisurely trip and you will be training with us if you come. Sasuke didn't seem fazed. If it means getting Kakashi back then I don't care. Besides, I could use the training anyways. Obito could see he wasn't backing out. Alright then, let's go tell Itachi you'll be joining us. Kakashi woke up after having the first's DNA inserted into him. It was kind of cool actually, to think that part of the first Hokage was now inside of him. His grandmother walked up and looked him over. You seem alright. She then looked at some of the medical equipment they had hooked to him. It wasn't anything fancy, but it did what she needed it to do. Everything seemed just fine. Well, looks like there's nothing wrong. We can start training you with wood release soon, but it doesn't look like you'll form a Rinnegan. Kakashi didn't even know what a Rinnegan was. Rinnegan? She really didn't want to have to explain all of it but knew she'd have to sooner or later. It's a very powerful bloodline that originally belonged to the Sage of the Six Paths. I'm not going to tell you all of the powers it has now as it wouldn't do you any good to hear them, but I assure you it's very powerful. It forms when the DNA of the Uchiha and the Senju are found inside the same person. However, you only have a small amount of each inside of you. You're not a full-blooded Uchiha like I am because your mother's not from the clan and we didn't have as much of the first's DNA to work with as we did with me. You'll have wood release, but not the Rinnegan. You just rest for now, I've got something special to prepare for you. Kakashi was feeling pretty tired, so he laid his head down and drifted back to sleep. Sasuke and Obito opened the door to the mansion and began to look for Itachi. They knew he home at the moment because he'd told Obito that he was going to bring Hana here to tell her about the trip and see what that meant for them. Naturally, Sasuke went to knock on her door, but it actually opened before he could. Hana was on the other side and she had wrinkled clothes and messed up hair. Itachi was in the background with a goofy smile on his face and he was covered in Hana's lipstick, which caused Sasuke to notice that Hana's makeup was all smudged. It almost looked like the two of them had just gotten their clothes on. She looked at Sasuke nervously. Oh, hey Sasuke. I was just, talking to your brother. I'll see you as soon as I can. Itachi, make sure to tell me before go and write me when you're on the road. Talk to you soon. Hana left and Obito walked over and gave Itachi a little smirk. Gotta say Itachi, I didn't expect this out of you. Itachi actually blushed. Well, I'm only human. Is there a reason you guys are here? Obito stopped joking around and said, yes there is. It seems your brother would like to come with us. I hope that won't be an issue. Itachi didn't think that was an issue at all. In fact he rather liked the idea of Sasuke traveling with them. No, I'm happy to have Sasuke come with us. This should prove to be an interesting trip. Obito had to agree with that. The last of the Uchihas were leaving the village to look for one of their own. It was going to be a trip to remember without a doubt. The three Jinchurikis were quick admit, Turtle Island was absolutely amazing. It was so lush and full of life. There were so many different kinds of animals and plants which gave such an amazing beauty to the place. They weren't given much time to admire it though, as B wanted to get straight to the Falls of Truth. From what he'd told them, they couldn't really start their training until this was part over and done with. The Falls of Truth didn't look like much to be honest. It was a nice little waterfall ending in small pond with a circular patch of ground in the center. A nice place, but it didn't seem like anything special. As soon as they got there, B pointed to the patch of ground, that is where we'll be getting started. The falls of truth will make you and inner self parted. Naruto just gave him a funny look. What? B have a heavy sigh. He wasn't going to be able to rap and explain this at the same time. When meditating at these falls, a person can meet and confront their darker self. Until you confront and make peace with it, I can't teach you how to use your powers. Gaara wasn't sure what all of that meant, but he didn't think it sounded easy. Have you and Yujito completed this? B went back to rapping. This task I did complete, but Yujito it did defeat. She hasn't been able to come to peace with her darker self, so she had to put her dreams of being as strong as me on the self. She still trains you with her tailed beast though. You can't spy Yujito. The fact that Yujito couldn't do it had them all a little nervous, but they went to the patch of ground anyway. Sitting in a circle but facing away from one another, they began to meditate. B watched them intently as he knew their darker selves would be coming forward before long. Even if you couldn't actually see what was going on in their mind, it was still fascinating to watch.